Hey, howdy. Well, it's been a hot minute, right? So, a couple of things happened. The first main thing, of course, is that I got sick. I'm less sick now, thank God, but I still got a little bit of a... My nose has not gotten the memo yet that I'm no longer sick. So, apologies for that. I think what I want to do today is I want to do dailies and weeklies. I know about the new bean stuff, and I do eventually want to do that, but I need, like... I want to, like, get back into the flow of things, you know? And that's pretty clearly Constellation World. While I talk about some things. Because I'll be completely honest, I'm... Oh, check disk is a little faster, I see. I'll go the long way. I'll be honest, I'm slowly getting burnt out on this game. Little by little by little. Not to say that I'll stop making content or anything, I still love it, but it's just... I need, like, a kick in the pants to try something new. Like, new but also familiar, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to jump straight into a new fan game. But at the same time... I think what's happening is that Tuki is adding so much stuff so quickly that it's, like... I'm almost... I don't really want to jump right back in until I know that there is, like, a manageable amount for me to just do in one session. And that's never the case with Tuki. There's always updates upon updates, new authors coming in, old authors leaving. It's just the way that it works. But then it leads to the question of, okay, then what do I do? Music is too loud, I think. It should be down at 17. Music in here is really loud anyway, so whatever. But this game, it takes a lot of effort to want to play this game because it's so daunting how much new stuff has been added since I left. And the longer that I spend without playing it, the more stuff gets added, so it's hard to get back on the horse once I fall off. So I need like a break day where I can just like get back into the groove of things, announce that I'm doing more Tuki again. I can't say that it'll be every day or even close to that. I've got stuff on my plate, like regardless of the other stuff that I'm working on. I've got a lot of stuff on my plate beyond that. But I will at least try to do this slightly more often, because I took that hiatus, and the channel is about to get populated again. This is Polygon. The channel is about to get populated again by a bunch of stuff, because my plan for today is just to go in a long stretch and just record a bunch of stuff. I want to do Final Fantasy. I didn't forget, I swear. I gotta get back to that. Oh, am I going the right way? Yeah, I am. God, it's so hard to tell where you are in this map. Okay, I see 1, 2, 3 sticks. I believe that's I believe I see where I am. So it's this way. There you are. Pink life. But anyway, on to less formal matters. Something really funny is... Oh, oh shit, foe! Foe spotted. Something that was very funny was, I'm in a bit of a weird situation where the college that I'm going to is roughly 2 hours away from where I live. So oftentimes I'll have obligations here and obligations there, and I'll kind of just have to bounce back and forth when it's convenient. So it leads to a lot of driving around in the middle of nowhere, southeast US. And I mean, I'm not complaining. It's wait, where am I? Yeah, I'm right here. I think if I go straight down until I get to the reds, I should just be able to follow that path. Oh, never mind. A little bit further down, then. And then to here, and then up. This should be good. So I've been driving around the absolute boonies, and especially more recently, I don't know what exactly happened. Okay, good. I get to go to a place with quieter music. We got Serpentine Pyramid, we got Abandoned Apartments, and we got Constellation World. Let's start with Abandoned Apartments, because that's pretty easy. So I've been driving around in the middle of freaking nowhere, and it's really... There's something very fun to that. I've always enjoyed driving around the boonies, as it can be kind of scary, because it's the kind of thing where, okay, if I get a flat tire or I run out of gas, I'm just going to die, because I'm just in the middle of nowhere. I guess I could walk like 1.5 miles to that farmhouse that I passed, and maybe they can help. Definitely gonna miss class. But I saw a bunch of cows, and cows are such lovely, goofy-ass creatures. I just found a bunch of black cows that were just laying down in the field, and this is the first day that wasn't miserably cold in a while. So they were just chilling. They were just laying around, being funny. I saw some cows, I saw a couple of sheep, I saw some goats. Not goats, rather. I saw, I think it was rams. There we go. But I saw a bunch of things, and I also found a few places that weren't just farms. There are, like, every once in a while you will find, like, an actual, like, a restaurant or, like, a farm that isn't just a regular farm. I found some funny stuff. The first thing that I found was I found a very interesting restaurant. I almost said restaurant. Very interesting restaurant. It was called, like, Wernicke's, something like that. very obscure restaurant from what I could tell, mainly because I looked it up on Yelp after the fact, because I passed by it and I was like, oh, that seems cute. And I know from experience that whenever there is a restaurant like that that's just in the middle of fucking nowhere, that's a good restaurant. Like, restaurants don't just pop up out of nowhere and are mid. If they're in the middle of nowhere, there's a good reason for it. That's a mom and pop restaurant, and that will have some of the best food you've ever had in your life. That's just a rule. So I went to Yelp and I looked it up, and apparently my gut was right, and there were only a few reviews, but the ones that I read said that, like, oh, this place is amazing. I go here all the time. I go here twice a week with my family. It's amazing. The family is super nice. There were only 2 or 3 reviews, but it came out to be like 2 5s and a 4. And then I saw that and I was like, okay. Pardon me. Let me just, while I have a moment, let me turn off Discord, because God knows Discord is going to go off when I don't expect it. That's just how Discord seems to work. But anyway, I saw the Yelp reviews, and I was like, damn, I kind of want to go here. And so I looked it up on Google, and it said, oh, this location is permanently closed. And, you know, this is not a chain. This is the only location, so that's a bad sign. I looked around at a bunch of other websites. It also said it was permanently closed. So I was like, well, that sucks. I was kind of looking forward to going to this place. Then I noticed something. All of those reviews were from 14 years ago. I probably should have read that first. But all of those reviews were absolutely ancient, and it's kind of a miracle the sign is still there. Seeing as that sign has probably been sitting there untouched for 10 years. I don't know when the place closed. If I had to assume, it was roughly 10 years ago. But I mean, that would make sense. The most recent thing that I was able to find about that restaurant was a single, something that Yelp does. They have reviews and they also have tips, just like generic bits of advice to give to customers who are going to that restaurant. And the bit of advice that I could find was from 11 years ago, and it simply said, they smoke in the bar. That's it. Excuse me. I'm not dying, I swear. It's just that is the sickness that I mentioned. There was one review or one tip, and only one tip, and all it said was that they smoke in the bar. And frankly, that just makes me think of oh god, what would that even be? It just reminds me of like a setup to like an episode of The Twilight Zone, that I'm just in the middle of nowhere. I go to this place, it's been closed for 10 years, but I don't notice, and the doors are open, and everyone who works there is weirdly pale, but really nice, and they ask me if I want to stay for dinner, and it's one of those weird, like, witch double entendres that means they're actually gonna eat me. And I escape to the bar, and then someone says, oh, they smoke in the bar, and then the bar lights on fire, and that's why they say they smoke in the bar. It's just, it made me laugh so much. That was fun. Oh, moment. Yeah. If I catch myself, I'll end up muting the mic. But that was fun. The other place I found this really cute little apiary, and I think I might actually like I might actually end up going to that apiary at some point because I've always kind of wanted to go to one. I've never gone to an apiary before. I've always wanted to try fresh honey because I've never had it in my life. I don't know what I don't. I mean, I have a vague idea what it tastes like. It just tastes like it's like most fresh foods. It just tastes like honey but better. But that was fun. And I mean, something else that I forgot to mention was that like that drive through the boonies was like a something like a 20-minute detour. It was crazy. I don't know what happened, but clearly something did. And Waze just directed me, made me do a really big, like, sweeping roundabout to skip whatever traffic was where I normally get off. Also, the duck boat reminded me. The off remake got announced. I feel like most of the people who watch this are already aware of this, but to the people who don't know about this, Off is getting an official remake. And it's like it's all being done by Mortis Ghost, published by Fangamer. New content, revamped content. It seems like it's gonna be really, really good. Hang on, let me do the bit. And then... hang on. Now that I don't want to risk the italics, because if I mess up the formatting, it's going to look really ugly. But, I mean, it doesn't come without some stipulations. The main stipulation is that none of the music from Alias Conrad Coldwood is going to be returning, which is unfortunate. But he ended up giving like a full explanation for why, and it really it boils down to a couple of things. And I mean, I respect it. All of his reasons were valid reasons. That A, he's never worked with Fangamer before, and he doesn't necessarily, not that he doesn't necessarily trust them, but he doesn't necessarily trust them. Secondly, the way the contract was stipulated, it would put the legal rights of the soundtrack solely in the hands of Alias Conrad Coldwood, meaning that all of the samples that he used in all of his old music, which I would probably guess none of them were cleared with their original like copyright holders, there is a good chance that they just blast him with like legal charges, and he's just dead. He's just in financial ruin because of this song that is now proliferated throughout the internet. And speaking of, the third main reason, and I think this might be the main reason, was that he didn't really want to disrupt people's goodwill of the soundtrack, because the soundtrack has already been around and it's been free for so long, and people use it in so many different fan projects, and some of them have got permission from him, some of them haven't. The bottom line is that if they were to do an official soundtrack release for the game, they would likely run it through some kind of content ID. And because this is Fangamer, and because of what happened with Undertale, he didn't explicitly say this half, but because of what happened with Undertale, I think he does not want a bunch of like off stuff to get randomly claimed after over a decade of just sitting there and not having any problems. And I fully respect that. That's the main thing that would have put me off of it too. Because for all the good things that Fangamer has done, they really fucked up with the soundtrack. So that's a valid reason to not want to do it. But regardless, I mentioned Toby Fox. The new version of the soundtrack is just going to be done by Toby Fox with assistance from Camellia, which seems interesting. I'm curious to see how that goes, because the soundtrack doesn't really conform with either of their styles, but I mean, Toby is a very talented musician. I feel like he'll be able to make something work. I feel a little bad for him. Oh my god, right. People. I feel like he'll definitely be able to make something work. But I do feel kind of bad for him, because he talked about it himself in either a personal post or a post on Blue Sky, I actually forget, where he basically said he was taking a bullet for the team, or he felt like he's being asked to take a bullet to the back for the team, because nothing is ever going to come close to replicating Elias Conrad Coldwood's style. But just based off the stuff that he's teased, it seems like it's at least going to come close. The stuff that he's put out so far seems good. And there's other, like, smaller things, like how is the translation going to work? Is the translation going to be different in certain places? Is it going to have to be changed to adhere with certain standards if they're releasing it on the Switch? If they do a wider release, are they going to have to change more things, like what happened with Lisa? There's a whole bunch of questions. And I guess we'll see. Because I feel like as long as... The main issue with Lisa the Definitive Edition was always the PlayStation version. Because PSN just has a bunch of weird and arbitrary rules when it comes to ratings. I'm not entirely sure why it's like that, but even with Lisa, like, I was not, how best to put it? I was not shocked that Lisa ended up having to have some of its content changed, because it is a really intense game. But the things that were changed were just stupid. Like, it was pretty clear that Dingling was trying to change as little as possible. But the things that he had to change were the most asinine things that had nothing to do with, like, the actual content of the game. It was, very, like, besides the changes of depictions of that would be considered racist, which I'm no complaints there about swapping that stuff out. I never thought it was that egregious, but I'm kind of happy that it's not there anymore. Now, that being said, oh god, it's this world. Where am I? I'm fine with just... I'm going to have to wander around a bit. It's one of those worlds where maps are just not going to be very helpful. The thing that bugged me about it always was the changes to cigarettes and drugs. It was just stupid. Because one of the stipulations of putting something on the PlayStation Network with a below a certain age rating is that you cannot include any depictions of cigarettes or drugs or anything of the like. So what ended up happening was all mentions of cigarettes, which frankly aren't a lot in Lisa. There's like a cheeky joke with a Marlboro stand-in company branded cigarettes. All mentions of cigarettes were changed to candy cigarettes. All mentions of whiskey and alcohol were changed to soda. The game is basically identical otherwise. Because I think what was specifically going wrong was because Buddy has access to those, I think Joy is no longer referred to as a pill, it's just called Joy. What was specifically going wrong, I think, was that Buddy, because Buddy is underage and has access to cigarettes and drugs and alcohol, I think that's what would have flagged it. But it is a stupid change. Hell yeah. It is kind of like putting a band-aid on a bullet hole because it's Lisa. Like, Lisa is one of the most brutal, like, racy games I have ever played, and it's amazing. And it's kind of hilarious to me that they had no issues with, which is like, Graveyard World is way faster here. They had no issues with the fact that there was literally a character hanging by a noose on the title screen, but they had an issue with Buddy smoking cigarettes. And that is that's the part that always kind of bugged me, but whatever. It's water under the bridge. So is there just a warp directly to Constellation World now? There is. Cool. So where's this vending machine at? There you are. Oh, wait. Wrong room. I think this is Spacey Retreat. Right? No. Spacey Retreat's different. What is... Hang on, let me see that picture again. Yeah, that's pretty clearly Constellation World. I think that's deeper Constellation World, where like the train station is and stuff. Okay, that's not that bad. That's not that much of a hike. What else new happened? It's a lot of stuff has happened, and most of it is just, politics, which I don't really want to get into. I will bring up politics every once in a while in incidences when it is actually funny, but most politics these days is kind of just like mildly concerning. There's a joke to be made in there somewhere, but most of the time the joke is just not especially funny. But if a joke comes up, but if something ever happens that's funny, I'll be sure to mention it. Especially since I know a lot of people use YouTube, and especially these kind of videos, as an escape from the real world. So I gotta have a good reason to bring it up, But yeah, I'm glad to get back into the groove here. I think for the next few days, the way this is going to work is I need to leave tomorrow to go back home, and I need to leave early because I'm dropping off my laptop to get it serviced. But I also have no time in the morning because I've got 2 morning classes back to back, which that's gonna be fun. Oh, that's vending machine over there, I think. Yeah, there we are. I always loved this area, and I always wish that Spellwood expanded it a little bit more, because it is absolutely gorgeous. This train station area especially is so pretty. But I've got two morning classes in the morning, and then I'm immediately leaving to drop off my laptop, That's going to take... Oh, wait, right. Yeah, oh my god, this place looks so nice. Look at that. That's awesome. Oh, let me go to the end of this route, and then I'll stop for the day. So, I'm offline Thursday. I'm offline possibly Friday. It depends on when the laptop's fixed. I just gotta fix the keyboard. I'm finally committing to just fixing the keyboard and fixing my W key so that I don't have to use numpad for everything and the arrow keys. Yeah, God, I love this place. Saturday, Sunday, I might be able to upload things. We'll see. I'll be back home, so I'll be sharing a space. So maybe not, but we'll see. But yeah, that's all I got for now, I think. One more photo for the album. Thanks so much for watching, y'all.